Mute the bells. Why didn't they just mute the bells? That's all they had to do was mute the bells. Seriously, if Cersei was spiteful, I mean, she's always been spiteful. Think about that poison thing she did to the Dorne person. If her and her child wouldn't inherit the kingdom, then she would make Dany destroy it. If she kept Missandei as a hostage and muted the bells, then the final fight could have been Cersei with Missandei hostage, being protected by the mountain, and Jaime if he really did flip, because why not? And then you could have them versus the Hound and Arya, and maybe Grey Worm trying to save Missandei. And if the bell doesn't ring, then Dany doesn't stop. So would Grey Worm risk Missandei to save a city? Would Missandei urge him to ring the bell, to free more people, to save everyone? The Hound in the Mountain can have the exact same end, only now the Hound is doing it to get the mountain away from Arya and to ensure victory against Cersei. I mean, he can still do it for his own reasons, but now there's a few more as well. Jon would fight the Golden Company because he doesn't need to be there for Arya's fight. Jaime could save Cersei from a blast of fire from the dragon, and maybe then he dies in a collapse like he did in the show, or fire or something. And then he saves Cersei. Would she be happy tricking Dany into igniting the wildfire? You could let Arya kill her, and then they could hide in the dragon skulls. Why didn't they do that? Because they survived all that collapse. Grey Worm could ring the bell, and then he could be more on the people's side when Dany turns, if she still did turn. Another separate thing, if the Targaryens are ruthless, then dragons should be too. So after Jon kills Dany, he should have gone on Drogon and made everybody bow by force right then and there, because they would have been the last Targaryen and the last dragon. Seems like a good fit. I haven't mentioned the Night King because, they ruined everything. So if this gets any views, I might do another rant, but just quickly, we could have killed Joffrey twice. Robert Baratheon could have killed Dany as a zombie. We could have had a cast reunion like the Survivor after show, where everyone comes back who gets voted off the island. You think you were voted off? Well, surprise. Ultimate Game of Thrones ending. You could have everyone that's died come back. Well, never mind. There's too many. I was always a fan of Dany in the show, and if this is the change that was going to happen, then it had to be natural, and it wasn't. When Jon walked up to her, after it all happened, I realized no one stepped aside, bowed. Can Jon even understand what Dany says? He doesn't speak the language. The people don't even recognize him. And yet Dany's demanding to be loved by this continent. The crux of Dany's change in the show was not being loved by Jon's people. Well, hers don't even speak the same language as Jon. The respect just doesn't seem to go both ways. She could have ruled her continent, and Jon could have ruled his continent. That was how I thought it was going to end. I thought she'd return back to Meereen, where she liberated, and Jon would sit on the Iron Throne. But now what do they do? I just can't justify their decisions. I mean, come on. Anyways, that was 10 years of my life, and then they end it like that. That's crazy. If this gets any more views, I'll talk about the Night King and all the magic that they ruined. Man, that was crazy. 10 years, and that's what they decided to end it with? Wow. Wow.
Look at my horse is amazing.